All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Jessica Lipicki. I am a certified nutrition coach and holistic wellness alignment coach, and I have been a certified nutrition coach for about 8 years. I love talking about gut health. So, this is my absolute favorite thing to teach about. Gut health is really the root cause, you guys. If you have any gut issues, it's going to show up in your symptoms. If you're having like I said, any gut issues, if you can heal your gut, oftentimes those symptoms will go away. Those aren't permanent, right? Your gut is literally the command center of your entire body. So I love this quote. Okay, isn't this so fascinating? 2,500 years ago, Hippocrates stated that all disease begins in the gut. So modern science has only begun catching up to that in the last 30 to 40 years. We are still learning every single day all of the impact that our gut microbiome has. And so here's what's wild. We are not just ourselves, okay? This is fun. So inside of our gut, we are hosting about 38 trillion microorganisms right now. That's more bacteria in your body than there are stars in the galaxy, you guys. So about 200 different species are living in your digestive tract, and things like bacteria, fungi, viruses, and get this, about 5 pounds of your body weight is literally your gut bacteria. Isn't that fascinating? So you're carrying an entire ecosystem inside of you. And here's the part that blows me away. It blows my mind. You have 10 times more microbial cells than human cells in your entire body. So technically, we are more bacteria than we are human. Isn't that wild? So some of our helpers, okay, so we have some helpers and we have some troublemakers in the gut, right? So our entire job in life is to feed the good guys and starve the bad guys. It's like tending to a garden, okay? You're either growing the weeds or you're growing flowers, right? And what you do today determines what will grow tomorrow. And so, 70% of your immune system lives in your gut, you guys. Your mental health, 90% of serotonin, your happy hormone, is made in your gut. Your hormones at every stage of life is made in the gut. Your weight, metabolism, and cravings, your inflammation and aging. That's an aging accelerator, right? Is inflammation. Your energy is directly tied to your gut microbiome and your gut bacteria, and the disease risk like autoimmune, cardiovascular, and cancer. It all comes from the gut. Isn't that fascinating? So here's where it gets really important. Your gut doesn't just digest food, it's actually controlling your immune system. Like I said, about 70% of your immune function lives right there in your digestive tract. And that means every cold, every infection, your gut bacteria are either fighting or they're losing the battle. Okay. But here's the part that shocked me. 90% of the serotonin, like we said, the happy hormone, is made in the gut, not your brain, but your gut. So if you're struggling with your mood, your anxiety, or or depression, a lot of times the root is actually sitting in your digestive tract. Our body is doing a really good job of telling us when something is wrong. Okay. So some of those signs to look for in your health are bloating, gas, constipation, diarrhea, heartburn, unintentional weight changes, mood swings, anxiety, depression, sleep disturbances. You're constantly chronically fatigued. I've been there. I'll tell you my story in a minute. So, sleep disturbances, chronic fatigue, skin issues like eczema, acne, psoriasis, brain fog, difficulty concentrating, frequent illnesses. That was me too. Infections, food intolerances, autoimmune disease, like we said, headaches. Our bodies do a really good job of telling us when things are not working properly. So it's really good to be aware and listen. I love this slide. So when the poop hits. So one way to evaluate where you are with your gut is to pay attention to your bowel movements. Okay, so let's talk about something that no one likes to talk about, but everybody does. It's so important. It's your poop. Okay, so the goal here is type 3 or 4. You want it really smooth, soft, shaped, and easy to pass. And that tells us what your gut is doing. I look at my son's poop all the time. We talk about it, and it tells your bacteria, it can say whether or not your bacteria in your gut are balanced, your digestion, if it's working properly, and if you're hydrated, absorbing nutrients well, that kind of thing. So if we are in dysbiosis, that means that it's not in balance, okay? It means it's not working the way we want it to. And we want to make sure that we are not in dysbiosis because and we want a really healthy microbiome, right? So a healthy microbiome equals better health, period, you guys, period. So when we are born, we're born with a microbiome. And as we grow into adulthood, that microbiome increases in diversity. And so diversity actually peaks in adulthood between the ages of 30 and 50. And then that diversity starts to decrease. So it's interesting if you're familiar with something called what the blue zones are. Those are the areas in the world where there's the most concentration of centenarians. They're basically people that are living beyond 100, believe it or not. So they've looked at their microbiomes of the centenarians in the blue zones, and what they have found is that their microbiomes resemble those people in their 30s and 50s, not people in their 70s, 80s, and 90s. They have a gut that looks like somebody that's in their 30s and 50s. Isn't that fascinating? So the people who are living longer have a more diverse microbiome. Diversity equals longevity. It's actually the number one indicator of gut health. So I love teaching these 5 pillars of health that are backed by evidence. These are always um, like really good things that you can do right away to really positively impact your health. These are all things that will move your gut health in the right direction right away. And so the first habit is very simple. It's eat diversity, right? Lots and lots of different plants. And the goal is 30 different plant foods in one week, not in a day, just one week. Okay. We actually have a workbook for this too. It's free. If anybody wants it, reach out to me or Gigi or whoever invited you, and we can get that to you. But we have a great workbook, and it's fun for kids. There's a tracker in there. It's so much fun. But you can track your plants that you get in your body every week. But that includes fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, herbs, spices. And why, right? Why do we want that variety? It's because every single plant feeds different strands of beneficial bacteria. The more diverse your gut is, the more diverse or excuse me, the more diversity you're eating, the more diverse your microbiome is going to be. And a diverse microbiome equals a healthy microbiome. Okay. And so habit number 2 is fiber. Fiber is literally the food that your good gut bacteria eat. We're talking about 35 to 50 grams per day, you guys. And if you're a woman in your midlife, aim closer to 50 because that fiber is also supporting your hormone health. So now here's the really cool part. When your good gut bacteria eat the fiber, they produce something called butyrate. So butyrate is a short chain fatty acid that lowers inflammation. It reduces cancer and supports your brain function, your heart health. It's like you feed your bacteria and they feed your body. It's a beautiful cycle that God created, isn't it? So, but here's the part that blew my mind. There's a study showing that biological age, how old your DNA actually is predicted by one thing more than anything else. And guess what? Guess what it is? It's fiber. So for every extra gram of fiber that you add to your day, you're essentially reducing your biological age by months. Doesn't that get you excited? I know it does for me. It makes me want to eat my plants. But if you add 10 grams of fiber a day, you're reducing your biological age by 5 years, you guys. Isn't that fun? So, habit number 3, eat the rainbow. Every color in fruits and vegetables has a different defense chemical called it's called polyphenols. So I love this because if you can imagine, like one apple, for example, has about 50,000 different nutrients in it, all working together in synergy. Vitamins, they're man-made in a lab, right? But imagine the apple, just one apple has about 50,000 different nutrients all working together in synergy. And every single one of those polyphenols, every single one of those plant chemicals has a place to go and a job to do in the body. And so if you're missing out on that variety, the colors, you're not getting, you're missing, parts of the bacteria that your gut needs. Okay. Habit number 4, fermented foods. These are your primary sources for probiotics. They live they are live. They're alive and they're beneficial bacteria. And I'm talking about things like sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha, yogurt, kefir, miso, and just a small amount every day. That's all you need. And here's what surprised me. One serving of fermented sauerkraut contains up to 28 different strands of beneficial bacteria. That's powerful. And when it comes to probiotics, it's food first, you guys. Fermented foods win. They are the best bet because they are alive and they're diverse. And you just need a very small amount every day. Okay, technically there's five, so I'm giving an extra one here. Habit number five, give your gut a break. This is a really big one. So your digestive system works 24/7 if you let it. Let that sink in. Okay, so to truly restore, try eating within a 10 to 12 hour window. Okay, so for example, if you're eating breakfast at 7 a.m., your last meal or snack needs to be about 5 or 6 p.m. at night. So this gives your body about 8 to 12 hours to rest, repair, and restore. And it's during this rest period that a lot of the healing is actually happening. So and then you want to finish so it's about 3 to 4 hours before bed, so you can allow your body and your gut to rest and do the hard work, which is the repair of the damage that we did during the day, right? Um, and one more bonus tip. Okay, so avoid ultra processed foods. These are loaded with fats and sugars, refined grains, and additives that feed the bad guys, feed the bad bacteria. Okay, so and here's something new. A recent study actually found that people who avoided ultra processed foods lost double the weight compared to people that were eating the ultra processed foods. So when you think about calories, calories are not the same, right? It's not just about the calories, it's about what you're feeding your bacteria, your good guys, your microbiome. So we talked a lot about feeding the good, starving the bad. And here's why. Think of it like your gut is like a garden, okay? I've been playing with my tower gardens. Gigi will tell you all about that, but I've been gardening. It's springtime, baby. So the good gut bacteria that you plant in your gut will thrive, right? So that they restore balance and they crowd out the weeds. Does that make sense? They crowd out the bad bacteria, the good guys. Um, and then prebiotics are the fertilizer. So special fibers that feed those good gut bacteria so they grow stronger and help you heal. When the seeds of the fertilizer grow together, your gut starts producing something amazing called postbiotics. So these are the nutrients and compounds the bacteria create that actually nourish your body. So postbiotics help reduce inflammation, they strengthen your immune system, and they help your digestive system run smoothly. And that's really what we want, right? So when you take both the probiotic and the prebiotic, you're not just planting a garden, you're actually helping it bloom into a thriving ecosystem that supports your whole body's health. Um, Okay, so here is where postbiotics come in, you guys. So I get really excited about this. When it comes to postbiotics, or I like to call them like the goods, we talk a lot about butyrate because we actually have a gut study that shows that when you take the Juice Plus plant powders, the fruit, veg, berry, your body is making more butyrate. And butyrate is super important. It's an anti-cancer fighting compound, anti-inflammatory. It keeps our gut barrier thick and tight. It's only a cell wall thick, your gut barrier. Isn't that fascinating? So if you've ever heard of like the term called leaky gut, that's when the gut barrier starts to break down and allow proteins to escape into your bloodstream. Okay, so butyrate repairs that damage. So we want that. We want butyrate. We want a lot of it. So it does a lot of really, really good positive things, but there are more than just one postbiotic. I just want to explain that. So there are lots of them in our microbiome. For example, there's something called propionate, and that is basically another biotic, and it's been associated with glucose regulation and weight management. So a little about that. So does anyone else know, what also has been associated with glucose regulation and weight management? You're welcome to put things in the comments too, that make it fun. If you're thinking GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy, you're correct. That's the GLP-1 drug, and that's what they do in the body, right? is they help the blood sugar and they help the weight management. And it's interesting to know that our bodies actually make GLP-1 naturally. And it's the gut microbiome and the postbiotics that create that work so the goods can do their thing, right? So the propionate specifically, that's what stimulates your body to make its own GLP-1 hormone. Isn't that fascinating? So which in a nutshell, it adds to the sense of the satiating weight management and the glucose blood sugar. If you know if you're giving your gut the right fuel, it can do that, right? So I'm excited to share with you guys our brand new product that was just launched a few months ago with our company Juice Plus. It's called Super Biome. My son calls it Super Powerful Biome. I've been on other probiotics and prebiotics in the past for probably about over 5 years now. And I would say I do a fairly decent job with fermented foods, and I have been proactive with my gut health, okay? But I will tell you, I have never felt a noticeable difference like I have with this. So just within the first couple of weeks, I actually started to feel lighter. I felt less bloated, more energetic. And let's be honest, being regular feels really, really good. So one of the biggest surprises and how much with one of the biggest surprises for me was how much it helped me with my cravings. I didn't even know that I was having cravings until they stopped, right? So my body just feels, overall more balanced. I'm not really reaching for snacks the way I used to. I also noticed that my blood sugar was more balanced. I wasn't getting hangry if I wasn't eating every few hours, like I have been for my entire life. And I really like knowing that it's designed to feed the good gut bacteria in my microbiome so that my body can more effectively utilize all the other things that's going on that I'm giving it into my gut. So it's just a huge part of my routine that I will not get rid of, and I'm just such a firm believer in it. So much so that I even give it to my 3-year-old every single day, and it really does fit so well into our life and our habits. And I would say if you feel like you're like me and you've been doing all the right things, but you're still not feeling your absolute best. And maybe you don't even know what your best feels like yet, right? And this could really be the missing piece. Okay, so these are the 9 strands that are diverse and very, very thoughtfully selected. And the research shows specific benefits, improving symptoms of IBS, enhancing immune function, strengthening the gut barrier, and improved like gut management. So remember, we talked about most probiotics are basically a waste of your money because they're actually causing more harm than good. Just like vitamins, vitamins are fake and they're isolated. They're causing more harm than good in the body, right? So again, if you're taking a pro or prebiotic, it has to make it through the stomach acid in order to root and anchor into the large intestines. And that's what you want it to do. And so if that probiotic isn't in the appropriate capsule, it can't survive the stomach acid. And so it's not really doing anything at all. It's actually doing, worse things. So that's really, really important. I love that the Super Biome capsule does have an acid proof capsule, and it's also time release. So we know that it's able to get to where it's going and do the good things that it's here to do. And it's a 2-step process. Okay. So if you want your good gut bacteria to thrive, it's imperative that you feed them the right food. Now, I don't know about you. I'm not really big on eating Jerusalem artichokes or chicory root, but apparently and I never eat those. I've never even heard of them until this product came out. But apparently those are the fibers that we need in our microbiome to actually thrive. And that's what we get here in this prebiotic drink. It's delicious, by the way. It tastes like a tangerine. It's so good. So basically what is happening in the gut with this, so the prebiotics, and remember, they are the heroes of the gut health, right? And they support it. We have to have prebiotics. You cannot plant a garden in dead soil without any nutrients and expect it to grow. It's just not going to happen, okay? So we have to have dense food or fuel in order to feed our factory, in order to get the goods, right? The goods, remember, are the postbiotics, the end result. And that's what I love about this product because most biotics supplements are, like I said, causing more harm than good. They're just dropping the end result into your gut and hoping that it will just flourish and do something. And that's not what's happening. But here, we're actually giving your gut the tools to multiply and create that end result on its own. And so we're not dumping the postbiotics. We're giving it the pro, and then it just flourishes. It's beautiful. So let's talk about polyphenols for a little bit because this is important too. What they are complex phytonutrients found in plants, and on their own, they are very hard for your body to utilize. Cue gas bloating with veggies and beans, right? Anybody ever been there? But with a diverse microbiome, your body converts them into more bioactive compounds. So, what polyphenols do when your microbiome thrives, it has things like anti-cancer properties, antibacterial support. It's adaptogenic, so it helps with that stress response and energy regulation. It helps with brain and neuroproductivity properties. So where do we find polyphenols? I know we talked about it, so you might remember, but it's with fruits and vegetables, right? Especially dark berries, green tea. And I love that Juice Plus actually has another study. We have over 50 studies, gold standard published studies too. But we have a study with our fruit veg berry powders that actually show that they are all delivering polyphenols to the body. It's proven to be bioavailable. And it's like the polyphenol cascade. It's like where the magic happens when you combine the two. So you consume the polyphenols via your Juice Plus, and then your microbiome receives the polyphenols. So your microbiome creates additional polyphenols. Isn't that beautiful? You're like, it creates more polyphenols than what was even in the Juice Plus to begin with. Our bodies are so smart when you give it the right tools, right? So the result is amplified bioactive compounds throughout your whole body, i.e., showing up as better health overall. And so polyphenols are only as powerful as your microbiome's ability to process them. A thriving gut equals like maximum benefits. Okay, so Juice Plus gives you both the polyphenols and it supports the microbiome to use them. And so I'm going to share my story. But Gigi, are you there? I would love for you to share yours first. Can you do that for me?
Hey, Jess, thank you so much. Can you see me?
I can see you.
So, guys, thank you for joining the call. For many of you, like Krista, you guys know I've been dealing with the Juice Plus products for since COVID, like 2020 is what 2026 now. Um, I live by Juice Plus. My doctors, when I go to the doctor once a year, literally. And that's just to get the annual checkup, just to look at all my numbers. I've learned how to read my blood work. I've learned how to ask for the true deep blood work of what you need to see. And my doctors literally, they'd be like, your blood is so freaking clean. What is it that you're doing? And I can't lie, it's Juice Plus. Juice Plus has been a part of my life ever since. And it all started with my little sister, Krista, that's on the call.
Hi, Krista.
She actually has been battling lupus and for the last few years. And we were on a trip. We did a girls trip. It was like right when they gave the opening for us to do things during COVID, and they said, okay, you can go with mask up and you have to be 6 feet apart and all of that, right? So we were on this trip, and she had all this energy, and then I saw her in the corner taking something, and I'm like, I was like, where are you getting this energy from? And then I was like, what are you taking? And she was like, oh, it's my Juice Plus. I said, what? And I tell you what, I didn't ask any more questions. All I did was give me the information and I went and bought my own Juice Plus. I've been on it ever since. I've always, after I had Alexis at the age of 36, I battled weight. My weight went up and down, right? So I did lose quite a bit weight when I went on to Juice Plus. So right now I want to say my weight is plateau, but even with my weight, my doctors be like, you know what? If you want to lose weight, you can. Yes, according to the obesity records, yeah, you're over, but you're healthy. So when we look at that, what is the more important, me being healthy or me worrying about being obese? As long as I can style it right, package it right, I'm not worried about that anymore. I'm worried about my Juice Plus. And I want everybody to know about Juice Plus. So I do my Juice Plus every day. I do my Super Biome. I do that every other day. And that's because when you're on this regimen for so long, your body is so clean. So I didn't have issues prior to the Biome. And I realized I couldn't use it every day because my body was just too potent. So I use it every other day, and it works perfect for me. And then I use my Luminate as well. My Luminate is really, really my iron that helps me with clarity as I get older. The other day, I went out with one of my girlfriends, and there was this young guy that said to me, he says, "Oh, I'm in love with you." I was like, "What? Get out of here." He was like, "Yeah, I am." He said, and then I was like, "I'm old enough to be your mother." So I asked him how old he was. He says, "Oh, I'm 40." I said, "I have a 38-year-old. Go somewhere."
Love it, Gigi. Oh my gosh, girl.
So all those things are Juice Plus. My skin looks good. My hair, I can't, my locks are strong because of Juice Plus.
Wow.
So yeah.
Amazing, Gigi. Thank you for sharing your story. I'm so grateful to be on this journey with you. I'm so grateful I said yes because I met you beautiful ladies, and it's just been such a blessing. So my journey started about, it'll be 7 years this month, actually. I'm going to a conference in Phoenix in a couple weeks and celebrating that. But 7 years ago, my husband and I, we were actually athletes. We raced in Spartan races and things like that in the World Championships, and we were training hard, right? We thought we were doing all the right things, but we were still getting sick all the time. We just thought it was normal. And actually, even before that, I reversed my polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS, just from eating more whole food fruits and vegetables. And so I really understood, right, the power of fruits and vegetables and the power of plants and getting more into my body and how much my body would function better, if I got more of them in my body. So I understood. I understood the assignment. I got started right away as well. But I didn't realize how much I was still missing until I added Juice Plus in because, like I said, we thought we were doing all the right things. But everything started to shift for us. We started to notice our performance skyrocketed. I had just started the sport and I started winning gold medals. I was top 10 in my age group. Our recovery improved significantly. We were sleeping better. And then it was about a year into or I say eating Juice Plus because it's food. We noticed, we look back, we had not been sick that entire year, you guys, and that was the year before COVID. I know Gigi and Krista, I think, got started during COVID, but I that had never happened before, and it blew us away. And that's when we knew we had something really powerful here. Um, so I remember thinking, we need to share this. It's people's life depend on it, and it's because they really do depend on it. You guys, this is not just something you want to keep to yourself. It really does, to me, it feels like a responsibility. So, and I know it does for Gigi too, and that's why we're here. And so I'm so grateful, I want to say like that I built this business as well when I did, because my story is that as well. I built the majority of my business before I had Daniel, my son, and it's almost like God knew what was coming. But after I had my son, I got really, really sick. My health just kind of crashed. And I had chronic fatigue, just chronic pain. Like some days I could barely lift my arms to pick him up, my new baby, and I couldn't even form full sentences. The brain fog was so bad. But later I found out I was living in mold. I had Lyme's disease. And not only was it because of this community that I found a specialist who specializes in mystery illnesses like mold and stuff, but then when they added in the super biome, it absolutely changed everything, you guys, because the mold and the Lyme really wrecked my gut. I had chronic bloating and I still looked 6 months pregnant, even 3 years after having my son. And within the first week, all the bloating was completely gone. I started noticing my energy coming back. I stopped getting sick every time I traveled. It was a long journey of recovery for me, but um, so and that really was happening because of the mold, right? My body was so run down. There was really a season where I couldn't really work, where I was totally unplugged from my team. I wasn't plugging in any videos, like we have all kinds of educational calls where doctors are pouring into us left and right, and I wasn't plugged into any of that. And so I really wasn't showing up in the way I wanted to. And I was really grateful. Somebody reached out on my team and invited me to a hormone health call. And that's what kicked it all off for me. But I'm so grateful. Like I said, I built this business because even though I couldn't work for a few years, I still got a paycheck every single month. And that was like such a godsend, you guys. So that's why I share this part of my story too, like these products, this business, like this community, because people need to know that there are options out there, right? This didn't just help me. These products, this company, this community, it saved my life. Okay, so you guys, it's whole food. It's not a vitamin. It's got a food label. It's a nutrition label, just like a bag of broccoli. It's non-GMO, it's vegan, it's gluten-free, it's kosher. It's NSF certified, meaning it's third party certified. And you should look at that for that with any supplements because it is a wild, wild west out there with any supplements that you are putting in your body. They can put anything in them and you don't know what you're putting in. So the NSF certification guarantees there's no artificial, harmful ingredients, no molds, metals, pesticides, fillers, banned substances of any kind. And it is the most researched in the world. It has over 48 published peer-reviewed gold standard studies. And my favorite part is that kids eat free. Okay, so those studies, I just want to tell you what they show. The research covers cardiovascular health. It covers immune function, skin health, dental health, wound healing, gut health, specifically relevant here, right, with the superbiome. And then the research shows when you put Juice Plus in your body, those plant powders, whether you have the complete shakes or not, you see a positive movement in your microbiome. You produce more butyrate, and the results are documented and measurable. We know it's actually working. It's not just marketing claims. They're peer-reviewed science journals, real studies that you cannot buy your way into, right? And they're done on the actual finished product. They're on humans, which is very rare. It's backed by decades of research. So there's a study from the Microorganisms Journal, that Juice Plus showed the increase in butyrate, which is that short chain fatty acid that we talked about. It improves the glucose metabolism and it positively improves the gut microbiome. It lowers systemic inflammation, which is what ages you faster, and it improves the immune and cardiovascular health. Okay, we got to talk about the Olympians because I was the athlete or am the athlete. I'm getting back to running again. So we are the nutrition that the U.S. Performance Center uses, you guys. Located in Charlotte, North Carolina, they are the largest residential training facility for Olympic athletes in the entire country. And so all of these athletes that train there, they put Juice Plus in their body, they eat it because they understand that micronutrition is so impactful for their performance and that micronutrition gives them that extra edge with how they perform. And so your gut is your foundation, you guys. Everything else builds from there. You do not need to change your life overnight. Pick one habit this week. Maybe it's adding, one plant to your meals. Okay. Maybe it's a serving of sauerkraut. Maybe it's trying the complete shakes to kind of close that nutritional gap. Small, consistent actions create big results over time. We know that. Here's where it all comes together. I spent years studying nutrition as a nutrition coach, as an athlete, and here's what I've learned. Most of us know what we need to be doing, right? But life gets in the way. We are busy. I have a toddler. We're traveling all the time. We forget to eat the 30 plants, right? We skip the fermented foods. That's where Juice Plus comes in. That's where the superbiome comes in. It's clinically proven. Whole food nutrition, not synthetic vitamins. The research is clear. Juice Plus increases butyrate. It improves your gut microbiome. It lowers inflammation. And it supports your immune system, right? Your future self will thank you for the choices that you make today. Okay. You don't have to do it all at once. You just have to start somewhere. And that's really what tonight is all about. Okay. And maybe, seeing your body, maybe this was all about, seeing your body in a different light today, bit differently than you did before, right? Wherever you're at right now is perfect. I just want you to know that whether this is, feeling like a confirmation for you, or maybe it's opened your eyes to something new. If you're feeling that little nudge, okay, I think I'm ready to start supporting my body differently. I want you to listen to that. And you can reach out to whoever invited you here tonight and we'll help you take that next step. It's not overwhelming, it's nothing extreme. It's very simple, just something that actually feels doable. And if you're not ready yet, that's okay too, right? It's just, take what you learned tonight and use it. Start paying attention to your body and its symptoms and its signs and being aware of that. And then come back to this when it feels more aligned for you, right? Um, we're here to support you, right? Whenever you're ready. So thank you so much for joining us tonight.